Well, the Tánaiste has been making it very clear over the course of this two-day summit in South Africa that Ireland will support Ukraine for as long as it takes. In fact, he used some of the very precious speaking time he had during the summit to make that point, and went so far as to describe some of the comments made by US President Donald Trump in relation to this war as alarming. Now, this is a massive stage, a huge platform, and there's no doubt that that kind of language will not go ignored by the Trump administration, and I'm sure it has reached Washington already. I asked Simon Harris earlier whether or not he thinks that kind of commentary is helpful in terms of Irish-US relations, given the more complicated relationship we have with the current president compared with the previous.
He also knows Ireland's foreign policy positions as well. And again, what Ireland is saying isn't in any way an outlier of a view. We should be very careful in relation to this. What Ireland is saying is the mainstream view of the European Union. It's a view shared by our nearest neighbours in the UK, by France, by Germany, by the overwhelming majority of countries in the EU. And yes, we have a special, long, historical, cultural and economic relationship with the United States that we value. And I've also been the politician that has said we can do business with the Trump administration. We're keen to do that. But we're also going to continue to obviously speak up for a country that's on the continent of Europe that has seen itself suffer a brutal invasion from Russia.
And the Tánaiste also put out his stall as the new Defence Minister, promising to double defence spending over the course of this government. And he said he also wants to start aggressively procuring resources as part of that plan. It's particularly in terms of our seas and our military. Here's what he had to say about that.
We also need to see, in my view, as the new Minister for Defence, a much more aggressive procurement strategy when it comes to getting access to key infrastructure for our defence forces, including radar and sonar capacity for our naval services. So I've already instructed officials in the Department of Defence to absolutely prepare for increased funding in terms of defence and security, but also to look at the procurement strategies to see how we can procure things more quickly, because there are vulnerabilities that exist in relation to our coastline and in relation to undersea cables that do need to be addressed.
He also made it clear too that he intends to remove the triple lock system that's currently in place, and that would really allow the government to send Irish troops abroad more easily. He claims that this would not impact Ireland's military neutrality. However, it would remove the UN's veto on sending troops, and the UN Security Council does involve Russia, so he's saying essentially that removing that would allow us to move without having the approval of Putin or whoever may be in charge of Russia.